And we're live. Good morning. It's early in the morning. I didn't have coffee yesterday, so I got some sleep. And now I'm up early. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. So I lit some sage. And let's do some more. My hair is natty. I tried something new with my hair. And it's kind of interesting. But anyway, okay, all right. It's cold. It's cold in here. I got the heater on, and I'm kind of whispering. I don't know why, because it's early. So where's my pink? Oh boy, what did I do with it? There it is. Let's read a prayer. I like this prayer. I really like this prayer. I love the idea of leaving time. You know how we talk about jumping timelines? We can leave time. I think that's part of jumping timelines. Okay, so there we go. And you can say universe or whatever you believe in, right? Father, I wake today with miracles correcting my perceptions, my perception of all things. And so begins my day. I share with you as I will share eternity, for time has stepped aside today. I do not seek things of time, and so I will not look upon them. What I seek today transcends all laws of time and things perceived in time. I would forget all things except your love. I would abide in you and know no laws except your law of love. And I would find the peace which you created for your Son, forgetting all the foolish toys I made as I behold your glory and my own. Steady our feet, our Father. Let our doubts be quiet and our holy minds be still. And speak to us. We have no words to give to you. We would but listen to your word and make it ours. Lead our practicing as does the Father lead a little child along a way he does not understand. Yet does he follow, sure he is safe because his Father leads the way for him. So do we bring our practicing to you, and if we stumble, you will raise us up. If we forget the way, we count upon your sure remembering. We wander off, but you will not forget to call us back. Quicken our footsteps now, and we may walk more certainly and quickly unto you. Oh, that we may walk more certainly and quickly unto you. And we accept the word you offer us to unify our practicing as we review the thoughts that you have given us. God is but love, therefore so am I. God is but love, therefore so am I. Therefore so are you. Therefore so are you. All right, I'm going to put this back in the place it belongs. So I picked out, this one came out, the sun, right? We got a solar eclipse today, which fits with this one. Winter, be still and go within. Perfect for an eclipse. Then we got Sekhmet. I just went into the bag. Where are you, mamas? There we go. I went into the bag and pulled out that. It was her. We'd been talking, so here she shows up. And then the Fool, just to go to the edge, to be willing to go to the edge. Huh, interesting. I just remembered something. I found this, and it is the first two keys of the kingdom, right? So Put this a little bit in here, tuck it in. I kind of, it's, so I decided to wear orange this morning. Okay, whatever. Um, so let me wear my orange one since we're, and then the sun comes up. And look at Segment. She's all in this orange. She's all in this orange. Yes. Okay. So I thought, how appropriate. I can't seem to get how appropriate. The first key is desire. And I think I'm going to go into desire. Yeah, we're going to go into a couple of these today because of the secret, right? Because of the secret. Okay. One of my guides got some information to me and told me that some people were laughing at me. Some people were laughing at me, and I kind of got irritated, and then it comes to mind again, and it comes to mind again, and I start laughing. I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing with you. And then it dawned on me. It's like, hey, wait, I'm not really digging this. Um, so I'm laughing with you. It's funny, and it's so important because it's all an illusion, right? So it's like, yeah, not taking it personal or serious. It's like that really, really valuable idea of it's not personal. It really isn't personal. And that didn't make sense to me, but I created it, you know. It's not personal. And it's slowly making sense to me. It's not personal. That's what the Toltecs, right? Um, oh, I missed it. That's no fun. Feels so much nicer when we make it. Okay, so we're gonna go on. Yesterday, it was perception is wish fulfillment. Today, it says this world has no power over the Son of God. Segment. So we read the promise. I promise you this, and then we went. We did the introduction, and we did the editor's note, and then we read just a bit of the first lesson, the way that calls you home. Okay, so here we go. We left at that. We're going to go to the next paragraph after the secret. Okay, and again, this is why I left this out because this is about desire, right? Because we didn't know the secret, so some of us get a little bitter. I was working with my bitterness. I've been working with my come on, bitter, come on, bitter. Let's go make peace. Let's go make peace and then go make love. you know, it's come on. Let's go. Let's do this. We got things to do. We got things to do. There's something I want, and I was like so upset yesterday. And it was like, I really want this, right? And it's desire, right? And they said I have choice, and it really it's something that is so personal, and it's just all about me. That's it. It's just all about me, and it's like making it up to myself, right? There's something I want to make up to myself for not, and the word value is right here, for not valuing myself. That's how all the troubles began. It's like I decided, what's it going to be like not to value myself, right? So we'll go into that whole idea of how we would even be curious, to hurt ourselves, All right. Beloved friends, I come to you where you choose to be. And if you would choose to open that place within the heart and within the mind in which you can communicate with me directly, I will meet you there as well. What is important then, by way of beginning, is to consider. I talked about this yesterday. I'm feeling to go back to this. Okay, beloved friends, I come to where you choose to be. Once again, He's coming to where we are, where we choose to be. How often in the world do people show up where we are? I had this experience with this young man, and I wanted to learn something. God actually had wanted me to work on this on music, on learning how to produce music, And so the person just he's like, okay, God's telling me I need to help you. He knew it, and I knew it, and so he downloads this whole program, for me to make, and I was just having so much trouble with it. But so anyway, I would go to him, and I tell the story a lot. I would go to him, uh, and he would tell me, because God would send me to him, and he would tell me. This is why sometimes when God sends me somewhere, okay, okay, God. So anyway, he would say to me, "You're level 1. Come to me when you're level 2." Excuse me. Oh my goodness. It was like it wasn't good enough. It wasn't a good enough sneeze. Oh my goodness. Is that better? No, I want to sneeze again. Okay, so I sneezed all over my hands. I didn't do that. All right. Okay. Um so he would say to me that he would say that, and I'm like, okay. So, I'm just like, I'm one to, if I want to work, I want to learn something, so I get excited. And anyway, he just kept on saying that to me, and I'm like, oh, when am I gonna, And so I didn't know. And then at some point, it got foolish, comical. Anyway, the whole point is, later, what came through very strong was that. Um, well, I was told this. It came through. It was a download. And for a level 2 to take a level 1 to a level 2, the level 2 becomes a level 3, right? So his whole thing was, you got to come to where I'm at, right? And that's where we are mostly in this worldly experience, right? Is you got to come to me. You got to, and Jesus here is saying, I will come to where you are. See, see the level of devotion. He taught me, he taught me something very, very new about devotion. And he teaches, be devoted to what's devoted to you, right? So he's saying, I'm coming to where you are to love you. And when you're ready, until you're ready to let go all of the illusions, right? And then he's saying, again, I will come to where you are, so we can have conversations. If you open up your mind and your heart, we can have conversations, right? I'm coming to where you are, where you believe yourself to be. What is this? How did he say it this way? I come to where you choose to be, right? How often How often does that happen? This is devotion, right? This is love. Um, what is important then, by way of beginning, is to consider this simple fact: your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus the attention of your consciousness. Itself being unlimited forever, embracing all the many dimensions of creation. You abide in that which embraces all things in all ways in all times. In truth, you do not know separation, birth or death, gain or loss. That is the truth of who we are. But we don't know that. We believe, it's like these people that were laughing at me, um, that's all, they're laughing not because it's not out of being kind. It's actually, laughing at me. Um, so that right there is not really, that's not real, you know. It's not real. It's something I made up. It's something we made up. Cruelty, um, disrespect. What else? Being a meanie weenie, um, being harmful, or yeah, those are all things that we created, and that's what we do. We create those illusions, and we can't really be taught, because I think when Jesus, this has never come to me before, because Jesus wants to, it's like he wants to hang out with us in the many dimensions. He wants to, abide with us while we embrace all things in all ways at all times. When we're not into separation, when we already know ourselves to be one with him and equal to him, you know, it's like that's what he really, that's what he wants. If we were to go where he wants, where he chooses to be, we would be doing some interesting things. We would be hanging out like in stars, on stars, right? Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Varying red beard. Am I reading that correctly? Yes, I am. Hi there. Good morning. Um, I approve too. I approve, and you approve, and I even got my yellow. I hate it too. Um, so yeah, we would be doing some really cool things. And I know there's one time he says, if you could put down your soap operas for a day and you want to look into the foundations of the world, I got this. I would love to show you. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah. He wants us to. He'd rather be teaching us how to walk on water. You know, he would rather be teaching us, how to make water into wine, and all the things that we want. The miraculous, right? Because that's what we are. But he understands. So okay. So let me go back to that. So this is the first time this has ever come to me. So he says, I come not to teach you, but to love you until you choose from the depth within which each of us. No, wait, I lost it. Oh, I went down. Okay. Um, what the heck? Within your own being, to set aside every illusion you have ever given credence to, and remember the truth, which alone is true. So that truth, which alone is true, is about really doing some amazing experience, having these amazing experiences, right? But we're holding on to the illusion, so he can't really. We're holding on to these like arguments and hey there, it's good to see you. Um, I was wondering because I'm California time, so it's really early, and I was wondering how that would work. Anyway, So yeah, I'm really understanding this very differently. It's like when we decide to set aside the illusions, then he can really teach us. This is interesting because he's coming to where we're at, and we're learning about forgiveness and what forgiveness is really for. And is forgiveness really is the way in this curriculum. Forgiveness is to give up the ideas of he calls littleness, right? Because if like when I'm like I was really frustrated yesterday because I was like I didn't like the energy I didn't like the energy and but because I was feeling like I didn't have choice, but I kept on getting you do have a choice, so I was okay, so that really worked out for me, you know um and with that choice, the choice that I want, and I was saying earlier that there's something that I want to experience, but it's just something for me. We free ourselves, that's it, and we free ourselves from that illusion, you know that somebody could be really, like I was talking about, people being mean. It's like not taking it personal, you know um but yeah, I'm really just like when he's saying, I come not to teach you, but to love you until you choose from the depth within your own being to set aside the illusions. As long as we're in the illusion, we're kind of in grade school, right? And he wants to get us he wants to get us to the university. In some of these pages, he talks about how he after his experience of, okay, so his resurrection, people were trying to stop him. But what they really did was they freed him. They freed him from a body. So he was a part of the human experience, right? So whoever he was around, he would get to experience. Then he was like more open to having more heart-based experience with more people. You know what I'm saying? So it was like universe, you through the universe. Not, I mean, just more souls, just like through the universe. Where when he was on Earth, he was just communicating with human beings, and he was having experiences with beings from all over the universes. Um, I'm really seeing this very differently. Okay, so as you focus your attention, okay, let me simple fact. Your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus your attention, of your consciousness itself being unlimited, for embracing all the many dimensions of creation. You abide in that which embraces all things in all ways and all times. In truth, you do not know separation, birth, death, or gain, or even loss. So there is such a different experience between embracing and rejecting, right? So when we're rejecting, expanding. So as you focus your attention on reading these words, recognize how you, as an infinite being, have deliberately chosen to participate in a form of experience. You will read words that carry certain meanings for each of you, and you each will color that meaning according to your perceptions that you have chosen to place value upon. Does this mean that some are ahead and some are behind? It only seems that way. In reality, each of you is equal. Each of you chooses from your infinite freedom to attract to yourself certain vibrational frequencies, certain forms or qualities of experience. That freedom, that freedom is that you abide in always, is what, excuse me, that freedom is what you abide in always. From before the foundations of this world, long after the world ceases to be. In each and every moment, you cannot be a victim of what you see, and nothing is outside of you. What you experience, you have directly and deliberately called to yourself. If you have the thought, I do not like what I have called to myself, that is perfectly fine, for you have called it to yourself, the experience of being in judgment of yourself. Merely look with the wonder of a child and see what it feels like and ask yourself, is this an energy I wish to continue, or would I choose something else? For ultimately, have been tasted, have been felt, and have been known, finally there emerges the still, quiet voice of spirit that speaks through the soul, whispering of the one truth, the one reality, the one love, the one peace, and the one bliss that is continual. And we picked out, this one came through today, that, that be still, right? Be still and go within. And that's what's coming up when the one love, the one peace, and the one bliss that is continual. It's when we quiet, when we get quiet, right? So that's what meditation brings us. Then the soul begins to turn from things of the created world. It begins to withdraw its attention from its attachments to all things it has called to itself. And that's what I'm calling to myself. That's what I was like yesterday. If there's something that I want to experience that would just be just like me, and it would just be, I want to have this, like, I guess this very neutral experience. Um, and just get away. I just want to release myself from all these, these ideas that aren't true. And I just want to have that experience with creation. I mean, just like, yeah, with creation, just like general. And I don't know how to explain that, but that's what my soul is craving, you know. The soul begins to turn from the things of the created world. It begins to withdraw its attention from its attachments to all the things that it has called to itself. It begins to transcend in its sense of identification with the vibrational frequencies it had only meant to play with and then took seriously. It is seriousness within the mind that is the creation of the ego, and it is great seriousness that holds the vibration of what you would no longer choose to experience with the field of your being, within the field of your soul. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, I'll turn that off. It gets too warm. And then I have my living room window. I have that wide open, so it's a little cold in there. So yes, last night I picked some of these cards, and let me show you my cards. So I'm in groups, right? We do these Zoom groups, and we study the way of mastery. And then I was writing on 3x5 cards, like somebody would say something, or there's an idea that I liked, so I would write them on these cards. See, I got all these. These are all pretty much way of mastery. Sometimes if somebody would say something, even would interest me. Interesting. She's missing you from your hometown, or because you're going to a university. Are you away from where you live? So, huh? Oh, she said, okay. Well, you believe that? Oh, you're in Nepal. Okay, okay. Um, very very nice, very nice. I have oh, okay, okay. So you believe you can talk to her? You know you can communicate with her, right? Through telepathy. Do you, you were afraid, um, and just the other day, you said that you were willing. She's on vacation. The other day, you were saying that you were willing to to feel that kind of love. So you were afraid some time at some point, and then the other day you said you were willing. I said, "Do you want to?" And you're like, "Yes." And when we were talking about love, and then you get this. Okay, okay. And what is your head is afraid. So what is that's your head is logical, right? So it's like you're saying you don't want to go psycho. So what happens is the head is bringing up all kinds of fears. What like tell me if I'm correct. So the head is doing stuff like oh, you're gonna fall in love and then she's going to reject you. This can happen, that can happen. So the head is doing all these kind of what they call catastrophizing, right? Is that because you're saying psycho? But what is your heart saying? Because remember, this is the way of the heart, right? So what is your heart saying? Because if your heart is saying one thing, let's say you have a soul contract with her, right? Let's say that prior to this life, that you and her decided that you were going to have an experience together, right? And this is the time for that experience. Okay. Okay. And this is the time for that experience. That would be your soul, right? So your soul and her soul said, okay, so in 2022, um, and when you're 20 and I'm whatever our age is, we're going to meet and we're going to have a particular kind of experience. Oh, okay. What did you try? When you say everything, what did you try? So if you have a soul contract with her, your soul is going to go like this to you and nudge and nudge and nudge and nudge you, right? Because there's something that your soul wants to experience. Oh, you did fall in love. Oh, so you said the other day that you've never felt it because you didn't allow it. You said I've never felt love because you stopped it. Is that what happened? You stopped it? A little confused. So you're afraid of the very thing you are, right? Okay. Okay. So you did feel it, but you just didn't allow the experience. So what I'm hearing is that you felt the love, but then you blocked it. Okay. Okay. I see. I see. I want to pull a card real quickly. Just show you something. Okay. So yeah, it's going to it's you're gonna continue to have that feeling because you've yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's and see, if your heart is feeling love and your mind is saying she's the wrong person, it's like what kind of thoughts, are coming up, that she would be the wrong person because she's a soul and you're love and she is love. So how can that be the wrong person? Right? So you're you're going towards the intellect, right? Rather than what your heart and what your soul wants, right? Because if you're feeling the love, you already feel the love. So I wanted to show you this: falling in love, kissing the divine in another, in yourself, right? Feeling it, then she's not the wrong person. Now, from where you're living, you guys have more. You have arranged marriages, right? In Nepal, I know in India, that is. I remember this one young man. He was in India. I have a very strong connection to Nepal and India, by the way. Oh, that's beautiful. But see, the thing is, remember, you're dimensional. You're dimensional, right? You're multi-dimensional. I mean, there, and a fish would be a water, right? So the elements, and a bird is air. So think of the match between air and water, the elements, right? Okay, because so what I'm saying is air is mind, and water is emotions. I'm gonna see what card. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking about what you're telling me. Yeah, I by the way, I'm Cupid. I have a bad habit of playing Cupid. Okay, nothing wants to come out. Oh, the sun is. We got to bring the sun in the full card. I don't want to. Where's the full card? Maybe I put it in already. All right. What do you want to? What does that? What does your wisdom have to say about a bird in the sky being the wrong for a fish in the water? I'm trying to keep my opinion out of it. Oh my goodness. This one, look at this. This is the card that symbolizes rest. So you got the Three of Swords here, and let me show you what Three of Swords means. And I'll give you a good picture of the Three of Swords. So one of the things, you know what's coming up? There's this saying that says, kisses aren't contracts, right? Because a lot of times, somebody, if you kiss someone, doesn't mean, what happens is we attach to that, right? If I want everything I love, then I'm being selfish. Well, let's go into that. Depends on what you love. If you're, that's interesting. Okay, here's the card I'm looking for. Okay, so look at this. This is the Three of Swords. So you get the picture, broken heart, right? So you got 4 of Swords. So you got your 3 of Swords here, looking at this heartbreak. And then on the bottom of this, there's 1 sword, which represents truth. And you have 1 sword, it's the mind, right? Thoughts. So he's laying on the truth right here, and he's looking at these swords. So he's recovering. So that's the card that really. So really look into that. I think that's where you're at. Is really look into that. Now your culture, if I remember correctly, or I do remember, I don't know about Nepal. I know India is very strong with in relationships. There's certain the caste system, right? Like certain people aren't to be with certain people, and there's arranged marriages, and I think India and Nepal is really strong with that too. Because that is how do I say it? Let's go into here. I mean, oh, here's the Fool. Here's the Fool. For ultimately, when all possible choices within the dream of separation have been made, have been tasted, have been felt, and have been known, finally there emerges a still quiet voice in the spirit that speaks to the soul. See, you're 20 when he talks about young people. It's so important for young people to experience the ego, right? Because the ego, this is interesting because I've never really thought about this according to the way of mastery. So I kind of, if you're in desire, and what you're doing is you're controlling your desire. So I really want to get into desire. So let's skip to the chapter of desire. Okay, let's see. The first key is desire. Desire, this is what this is about. I wanted to read this. Okay, so desire is everything. Without it, not a thing can arise. Therefore, what you desire is of utmost importance. Desire, then, perfect union with God. Desire, then, to be Christ incarnate. Desire, then, to be all that your Creator has created you to be, even if you have no idea what that might be. For what you hold desire within your being, for when you hold desire within your beingness, and when you have mastered the energy of desire, again, mastery does not mean control. By grounding it always in the desire to be as you are created to be, that indeed all of life and all of the subsequent and subsidiary desires will come to serve the grand desire. So if you have a desire and to, with what you were sharing, to master, you want to be a master. If you're the reading that you can be in mastery is if you master desire. And if you're trying to control your desire, you can't master what you're trying to control, right? When you come into the state of being, when you come into that state of being, Nothing shall be impossible unto you. Why? Because you are not the one doing it. You are merely a piece of thread in a very cosmic tapestry being woven by the Creator of all creation, who alone knows how to weave the tapestry of a new age, a new paradigm, of a healing of this plane and of humanity. Right? So I feel like that's something that you are very part of. I was really feeling that. I was calling you a third waver. So the first stage is the stage of desire. Only by feeling desire and not by suppressing it can you truly begin to move towards the stage of mastery in which the energy of desire always serves the higher will, which is the will of God for you. As you have said, as we have said to you before, when your will is in alignment with the will of God, you will discover that God's will for you is that you be genuinely happy through and through, content, fulfilled, at peace, empowered, capable, and responsible. Right? What you desire in any moment is of utmost importance. From your desire, you will begin to move creation, move the energy of the mind in a certain direction that will have a certain flavor, a certain vibration. If you desire to breathe with me, let your desire singular of purpose. Father, how might I extend my treasures this day? And my treasure is the gift of union with you that you have given to me before the foundations of all the world. And I long that my brothers and sisters awaken to the remembrance of the union that lives within their own hearts and their own minds. Let my life in this world, while it lasts, be given only to the extension of the good, the holy, and the beautiful. And if that is your desire, set it in stone, if you will, with your intention. An intention is simply committed to and dedicated to the fulfillment of your desire. In the realm of intention comes one simple question: how can I communicate in this moment the depth of my intended desire to bless the world with the love of God? Oh, okay. I wonder what you got, what you heard. So I was reading on desire, and I'm going to go to, this is part 5. I'm going to go to I truly want. What is it in my heart that keeps calling to me, keeps compelling me? Oh, it's raining. Oh, okay. Okay. Because your mind shines forth like a sunbeam to the sun from the mind of God. When you ask the question, pictures will begin to arise, feelings will begin to arise. And I say unto you, they are symbols of an expression of what God wants to bring forth through you. So if you're in meditation, if you stop and you say, what do I want? What is it in my heart that keeps calling to me, keeps compelling me? And you start to get pictures of her. He's saying here that because your mind shines forth like a sunbeam to the sun from the mind of God, when you ask the question, pictures will begin to arise, feelings will begin to arise. And I say unto you, they are symbols and expressions of what God wants to bring forth through you, because God wants you happy. God wants you content. He wants you to so that it's I think your question, desire links you to the will of God, right? So if you're desiring to have an experience with her, so if you're feeling a sense of love, and that idea, kisses are idea that we're going to be held to something. We have choice. We always have choice. So a lot of that comes from a sense of codependency, that we are responsible for somebody's happiness, and we're not. We're responsible for our own happiness, and we are responsible to treat people the way we treated. Right? You're going too far in those ideas when you're having this experience of love, and it's about in the moment, and it's about where you're at now. You know, so if your mind, if the intellect is taking you to like all these other scenarios, exactly. So she has the choice, yes. And you're saying that you're feeling her, that she's missing you. So we have this idea that what love is. So love, love means this, we meet, we end up, we allow love to happen, and then we are with each other, and then next, then we start making all these, like, the intellect starts going all these places with it. Next thing you know, you're married and you're having kids and you're dissatisfied, and she wants this and you can't do that for her. And we get caught up in a lot of these movies and stuff we say. And I'm wondering if that's where you're into, because you said, oh, it's her ego. And her ego is, she wants you to behave a certain way. Or is her ego about expectations? Because you're 20, and I'm just really feeling like if even if it is her ego, it'll give you the opportunity. Oh, so her ego is stopping her, and that's what's. So you put in the brakes on it then, because you were saying earlier that you put the you stopped it. So the wrong. So you're thinking that she's the wrong person because um, her ego is stopping her, or because of details of her life or who she is. So I'm going to just, yeah, to really look into that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just like, oh my God, I'm feeling love, I gotta go. That's what I thought. So really look at what is, and just let desire let desire take you to where you're, what there's something that you're to experience with her, right? I think there's a part in this book that says that what we do is, when we make the heart, when we set the heart as our to be, and he uses the word stupid, and he says part of the expression, the stupid servant, part of the expression of the heart, of the awakened heart. But that's the training, that's the mastery. Yeah, yeah. So right now you're in your mastery. She's helping you with your mastery. So I'm feeling to really go in and, you know, go into that desire. What do I really, really want? And let the pictures, let the feelings come up, and let that be your guide. And then that's where you'll be training the mind, right? Because the heart, because if you look, he's got his hands around about the heart, around the heart area, right? So what you're doing here is you're training, and there you've got these illusions. Because if you're saying stuff like, it's crazy, those are all illusions, right? So you want to go into and um, discover what those illusions are. right? And as you discover those illusions and you do the work to let them go, then you're training, you're what you're doing, and you understand this because that's what meditation is to train the mind, right? Because the heart, like even the Egyptians, when they would mummify, they took every organ out of the body and they put them in those jars except for the heart. That's the only organ they left in the body, right? Because the heart, they would need the heart in the next world. So that is uh, and one more symbol of ancient wisdom, that the heart is what really rules, but we let the intellect rule. And that's why love becomes such a challenge for us, because we let the intellect from the heart, right? So take that little break and see what the because whatever the desire is, and allow desire to come up, and that desire sends you to reach out to her, and you reach out to her, and she rejects it, or she's confused, or you mentioned kind of the crazy, right? You're going to see that crazy in a different way than you did before, right? So there's something in that crazy that you got to look into, so you can release the illusion of it. So she may just be like a stepping stone to your path to mastery, and that would make you her stepping stone to her path to mastery. Because whether we know it or not, we're all going towards our mastery, right? It may not be this lifetime, you know. Yeah, it's ruled by the mind, and that's why we have all the troubles that we have, right? If we let, because the intellect, we weren't meant to, we weren't meant to follow the intellect. We were meant to follow the heart. The intellect complicates things, right? The heart really doesn't. The heart isn't that complicated. The heart situation. I'm the heart will take me somewhere, and then it show the heart will take you to see. And there are things that I don't want to do because it doesn't make sense to me, but I follow the guidance. And then what I realize is, like, I will go into a situation, and what I do is I'll go in a vulnerable way. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been so vulnerable and been so rejected. I mean, I have been so vulnerable. Hey there, Amen, Amendine. Am I saying that correctly? We're doing good. We're discussing love. We're discussing love and the intellect and the heart, and how the heart will tell us to go forward, and the intellect throws a big old monkey wrench in it. Oh, I'm Risa. I always forget to say I'm Risa. My name is Risa, and we're working with this book, The Way of Mastery, and we're pulling out some cards, and this is my second time talking to Sid, and we're getting to know each other. So welcome. Um, so anyway, I've been you're really showing me something. So I've been guided to follow my heart. I've been guided to be vulnerable. The many times that I have been vulnerable and been rejected, um, every time that I have been vulnerable, um, even though there was the rejection or the craziness, I get stronger. My mastery gets stronger because part of oh, okay, good, good. I didn't want to butcher your name. Um, I don't know if it's in here, but vulnerability, especially, I want to say, especially for men. I don't know. It's for all of us, but I think because women have it's easier for a woman to be vulnerable, you know, where it's like we're known as, the very emotional one, so it makes more sense that, for men, because you guys are more the um the action, the I can't even think. um ooh Releasing judgment of desire. Learn then, though, through simple practice to interpret the patterns you have learned from this illusionary world, so that you release judgment of the energy of desire. This will be different for each and every one of you, depending on where you begin. Here's a very simple exercise. When you awake in the morning and you have planted your feet firmly on the floor, take pause and ask yourself this question: what do I want right now? Right away, the mind will say, well, I'm too busy. I know what I want. I have to go off to work. I have to serve somebody else. I am here to satisfy the world. I have no time to ask myself what I want. Remember that what you decree is, and the thought you hold in the mind will be reflected through the nature of your experience. So take pause and ask, what do I want? Then simply give yourself 1 minute to observe whatever comes up in the mind or even felt in the body. Heaven forbid, heaven, heaven forbid, you might want to have sex! Exclamation point. Oh, then you would know for sure that you are not a spiritual being. So there's a lot of sarcasm in this book. You might want to take a shower. You might want a glass of water or juice. You might want to sing. You might want to stretch or breathe. You might want to arise and sneak into your children's room and watch them sleep. Is to notice that by asking the question, something will respond within you. And when that response comes, notice that there's a feeling associated with it, a quality that makes your cells sing just a bit. That the energy, the elixir of life called desire. I am. I am. We're going over. We're in the very first lesson, and so what I do is I read a little bit, and then we pull the cards and see how they fit, um, and then so Sid was talking about we have this feeling of love, but it gets crazy, and then we get scared. So I started going into this idea of desire, so he could um, allow the heart to guide him, because this is about mastery, right? We do use the cards about mastering the mind, right? Because the mind gets chaotic, so we need to master it, because it'll scare us out of doing what we really want, right? So that's what, yeah. So what we're doing is um, yeah, we're in the very first lesson. So I just really want to, I was looking for vulnerability here. Um, is it in this one? No. But the importance of vulnerability, and I was talking about it yesterday, that how sexy vulnerability really is. Because vulnerability is about courage, you know? Vulnerability is about allowing yourself to um, look whatever, you may look like a fool, you know but within that there is here we go, there's strength in that, right? Because it's like they say, if there's something like, if you don't take the shot, then you always fail. But if you take the shot, then there's a chance not to, and then it may take um, and then it may take a couple shots, you know what I'm saying? But the point is not to let the mind control us. And vulnerability really, really trains the mind that, because of the mind will control us. Because, there is that sense where the mind wants to protect us, but the mind is protecting us from our best interests. Because if we have some desire to, like for me, like to get on stage, I remember shaking when I was a poet, and I remember I'm watching other people get on the stage, and I remember not doing so. I question what my heart, I don't desire her in my life, but I question why my heart says you. See, that's it. See, it's the mind. You're in the mind. The mind's not going to direct you correctly. The mind is not going to direct you correctly. The mind is not set up to fulfill passions. The mind is not set up to to live a courageous life. It's not set up that way. The mind will always keep us in what it's comfortable with. It's the heart, right? And you may just want sex. It might just be that simple that you want sex. That doesn't mean that you guys are going to be together. And if that's the case, and if you're thinking, oh, because you mentioned selfish, but if that's what your heart wants, at least you want to honor that without judging it. Because there was just the idea, the judgment of it. It's like you're a young 20-year-old male. It makes sense to want. I mean, we all get it. It's a very natural thing for you to want sex. So if you're judging it as selfish, you're not even giving it a chance. Yeah. You're saying wants because no one understands the mind. the mind. I had this job, and I was somehow I was on a computer. Somehow I set the computer on an infinite search, and I couldn't get it out of the search. I didn't know what was going on. So I went to my boss, and she goes, "Okay, go use this other computer." I was a customer service rep, and then she sent for the IT guy, and he showed up and told her that I had set it on an endless search. It never would have found it. It was it was just an infinite search. It never would have found the answer. And that's what the mind does. It will just go an infinite search. There will be no end to it. That's why the heart, that's what the heart's for. And that's what we're doing here is with the heart. Well, see, in fact, that's interesting because I was just going to ask you if you wanted me to read some cards. Um, our mind is a part of the mind of God, Creator. So the way I see it is the sun, us, right? So there's no difference. I mean, there's no separation between the sun and the sunlight, right? Um, so our mind is part of that, but it is through our heart that we experience our creator. So we have this idea that it's the mind is the brain, but the mind really is the heart. Okay. Did you want to tell me what you want what your question is, or just want to see what the cards have to say? Amandine. Let me know what if you wanted to do that. So it's through our heart that we do the traveling or the what's that called? Oh my god, astral traveling, and that we're multidimensional. It's through the heart. The Okay, all right. I saw flowers. The flower cards came up when you said love connection. Okay. Um, so stick with me, Sid, and because we're doing this heart thing because it's we're doing the way of heart, and I'm gonna. Okay. Okay. If you're since we're on the subject of desire, because we were talking and the because you go back to the lesson, we were talking about how the wherever we put our attention to, right? That's what let me just find that. I want to say it correctly. So I'll pull the cards and then okay. So what is important then by way of beginning is to consider the simple fact your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus your attention or consciousness. It itself being unlimited forever, embracing all the many dimensions of creation. You abide in that which embraces all things in all ways and all times. In truth, you do not know separation, birth, death, gain, or loss. So Sid, you don't know there's a part of you that there's no separation between you and that young lady. And for Armandine, the same thing, there's no separation, right? It's just where you're putting your attention. So I just wanted to make that a point right now. So as we do these cards, okay. So we're gonna go into here and see what this connection is about. So and then we talked about desire, right? So what's the desire about, right? What you're at, so you desire it. There's some kind of there's your desire right now is you're asking this question. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'll pull the cards and then I'll bring that back to us. I want to work that into this, right? Because what I want to do is I want to set the stage that you will be able to go to your heart for these questions, right? So it's mastery. Okay, yes. Okay, I see that. Okay, I know. Okay, okay, let's see. Ooh, look at that. This is what this, okay, okay, look at that. Chrysanthemum. You're being called. Look at that. There's an elder. That woman's an elder. There's something for you in that relationship. And you said you wanted to. Yeah, I know. This is confusing. So that's where my practice is to be specific and clear. Um, yeah, you're being called. Look at that. I've seen ancestors. Okay, let's see what else comes in. Okay. See, and there's this big yellow. Look at this. This flower is so big and yellow. That's your solar plexus, your willpower. How long have you been thinking about this person? Okay. There's some kind of wow. Look at these two cards. Really? There's this summoning. There's this summoning. You're being called to it. And then look at this guy. Look at this guy. Again with the yellow flower. Okay. So let's go back to this real quick and let me simplify it. Oh. Okay. Is that part of this? Does this fit the situation? Look at that. You don't think it's for you? I mean, that's interesting. It just really, she really. Okay. So there's something, I want to say soul contract. That's this one came out. So I'm going to use some cards to clarify. And I was guided to these cards earlier. These are a challenge for me. These are vice versa. It's like on the cards they have it this way and like this. So let's see. Look at that. Another calling. There's like this calling. Look at these cards are all about calling. But there's some kind of heartbreak. There's some kind of longing. And it's right there at her heart, the heart. You know, that light is from her heart. So that's a big call card, you know. So there's something in that relationship. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I wanted to let me push this back a little bit. Wow. This is interesting. Do you see them? These are so slippery. Do you see this? The universe? The stars? Okay, the ones that fell were cups. Cups are relationships, are the heart. see, that's what that, okay, is it. What is important then, by way of beginning, always the effect of where you choose to focus your attention of your consciousness, itself being unlimited forever. Okay, so this person is calling you. Her consciousness is her attention. Her focus of her attention is on calling you. Right? Look. Now, could that be you? Is it responding to you at some part of you? Or is that where she is? And this is just like so cosmic, so it could be beyond this particular time, right? Okay, it's a man. Okay, well, look at this one. I was wondering that too. Are you feeling like this? Because you understand that there's oh, so you're calling to him. So if he ghosted you, you felt like this, because that's what ghosting, right? I know that's what it feels like to me when I get ghosted. And it's so interesting because this masculine came up, right? Okay, let me ask some questions. I'm wondering, because we all have a feminine and a masculine part of us, right? And the feminine is the receiving side, right? And the masculine is the action. So I'm wondering if this is you, if you're being told to surrender because you've already made the call, right? And is it you that this is a surrender? Okay, let's see. Is that so basically I'm really feeling like you've already made the call, okay? You felt like this, and then it's like you don't need to do anything anymore. You want to surrender it because you've already called to him. Huh. So let's see what I'm wondering if he's thinking about you, and that's why you're having the dreams, or is it something you need to clear up? You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to, because you said you moved on, but emotionally did you move on? So it's either something you need to clear up, or because if he's thinking about you, and if he's feeling, some kind of remorse, look at that one's coming out. That's a major arcana. Oh. You got two major arcanas. You got the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel has to move. This is a challenging one for me to. Do you see how the two of them are looking at each other? And then she's kind of like a guide. And this is what I was feeling. Remember I was saying ancestor? There's an ancestor to this, and there's like this guide, you know. So the will wants to move because of this, right? Because of this, there needs to be some movement so you can have some healing. But then, and then this one came out with it. This is see how there's some tie between you guys. So whatever the circumstances were, I feel like this was the you guys got. So there's still, so now your soul and your ancestors, your. So I want to get a card on. Let's do these ones. These ones are challenging. And then there's this one. So like, look at that fire. That's the Phoenix. This is the Knight of Wands. So there's a healing that wants to take place. So I want to check him. I want to see with this sunflower. I want to see who this is representing. Is this representing him? Because if it's him, he's surrendering. He's surrendering. There's something, whatever something happened. This again, this is the circumstance, and you guys are tied to the circumstance. Whatever he let, he probably couldn't handle it, since he was bound by it, right? Which is the ego, you know, the mind. So we want to get into the heart. Talk to us about this masculine in the sunflower card. Okay, we'll see you, Sid. See you hopefully tomorrow. Oh, okay. So he's still there's a tie. There's something you guys need to move through. Whether it's get back together or have a healing experience, you know. And you have a guide that is working with you through this. Okay. It's stopped in the right one. This is the way he's feeling. There's some regret for him, because this was clarifying this card. So there's some regret. And then look. So there's a part come in. And apologize. And this right here is about victory. He wants it, and then healed. But look, again. And then this is, so there's conflict. There's conflict. So let's do an advice. Now let's look at the archetypes going on in here. So I want to ask one card for him and one card for you. So we just left Venus was relationships between men and women, the relationships between genders, and so if you notice that what happened with Will Smith, where he was sticking up for his wife and he ended up slapping Chris Rock, that was something that has something to do with that planetary alignment. And then now they're showing Johnny Depp with his relationship, so that's coming to the forefront. So with that's why I was getting the star system. So it's something that wants to be resolved, but there's still some conflict. I feel like the dreams were calling to you because he has a regret, because you weren't thinking about it. You moved on, and then he has regret. He can't really move on until he works it out. But he chose, because when someone ghosts, they choose not to communicate, right? They don't talk about it. It's kind of running away. Ghosting is just running away. But and that's what okay. Oh, okay. Did you guys have like any problems with money? Like money coming between you two? We got prostitute. That could mean that the light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating spirit. That is the light attribute. And the shadow attribute places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. So if you see that's what I'm wondering, if there's money. Okay. And then for you, we got goddess, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, and that would be at the light. And the shadow attribute is exploitation of the female nature and form. So what feels right to you? Okay. So material coming before the material security coming before heart, right? And then we got vampire, femme fatale, and then guide. So there's another woman involved. There was another woman involved. Because when I look, and I thought, let me just wait before, right? There was another woman involved. It had to do with money. Now, it could be that he became aware that someone or something was draining his life force. So that's why he left, right? Or it could be this person was, or he was doing that. Either somebody depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. But because of this right here is often the other woman card, the wands. And then we got the femme fatale, which highlights the erotic energy of feminine, opens the heart when your dependency is rejected. So rather than being dependent on someone, be more like independent. But the shadow attribute is an inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money, and power. And then we got the guide. represents the nature of the divine life in yourself, and then the shadow part imparting. So there's a the money, the money thing, the money. So that's what he's feeling bad about. Somebody was draining him, and there's just, it had to do with money, and it had to do with um how would you say it, sex, in the sense of sex being used as power. So he got overwhelmed, and he feels really bad about it. Where's that card at? Look at, he's see, there's a third party, right? So there was somebody, part of some kind of diamond power, right? So he turned his back to like love and emotions, and then he's in regret right now. And that's where, but he's going to have a tower, right? And this came, see this, so it looks like he doesn't really have anything to give, right? Because there was a tower, and then that's when where did the Queen of Wands stood up, right? And then the Temperance, and this is the Angel, and this fits with this card, that the Elder, right? So they want to bring some healing into it, okay? And then the Seven, so they're looking into it, but there's like a walking away, and then coming to a closing. Emotion, it's so either he's going to walk away from it, come to a closing, and then there's this Ten of Cups, but then there's this heartbreak. So whatever, and then there's the Fool, right? So it's about healing, and what I feel like you were, because the Goddess card came up, is you were what we call a catalyst. So you triggered him, you triggered his heart for the sense of growing, right? So there's something about you that he's going back to because he wants to heal, right? You guys are both, or your ancestor. Where's your ancestor? Look at, it's like there's something in like the circle. It's like both of you guys together to connect and have a healing. Now, whether he shows up, I don't know. It could be just through important to really listen to your to pray and ask for them to be more open. I don't mean more open. For you to be more open, that your guides can come in and help you heal this. But I really feel like you really touched something within him, right? Well, he was in all that darkness, and there was something that your goddess energy, you know. And then I'm exploitation of the female nature and form. So I don't know if that was maybe at that time, because you said you're emotionally unavailable. So whatever it is, it's there's a healing, and because there's that Ten of Cups, right? But then again, there was this heartbreak. But even for you to go somewhere else and get your soul fulfillment by healing, your soul be more apt to experience the fulfillment it wants. So I'm gonna see. Where are they? Okay. These ones are calling me. Okay. Let's just get like one more advice. Idea that so his attention has been on you, and that's where there's this calling, right? And then your ancestors are working to get your attention. So if you look at it in a sense that you both call this to each other, right, to yourselves, in each and every moment, you cannot be a victim of what you see, and nothing is outside of you. What you experience, you have directly and deliberately called to yourself, because you guys want a healing. For what, right? So he is in judgment of himself for sure. That is being in judgment, right? And he wants victory. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want this anymore. He wants to have this victory. And this could be the apology card. So maybe there was some where he was being exploitive towards you, where he didn't really see your true heart, and he doesn't like that about the situation, where he was caught up. And then there's this card here. This is a competition card. So you want, and if you talk to your guys, just like be in wonder. That's what's really coming up. Be in wonder. Let's see, like, and what? Because when you were a child and you were curious about something, right? Children, they have that sense of wonder. They want to know about it, but they do it with innocence. That's what. So it's curious, but with innocence. So if you can move into that, like being that curious and that innocence, then you're not so attached to it. Then you can clear that up. I'm not sure if he's ready to do the work, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the way he feels, and he's still kind of caught up. He's still caught up, but with the ego, but he doesn't like it. These cards are so big. Love is all around you. That old record that really caught my attention. And there's two of them. I've never seen that before, but your souls are calling to each other. And nightingale is really just a very gentle bird, and there's a little crown, right? Let's see. Anything else? Feeling is that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the way he left that. He doesn't like that lip. He doesn't like him being able to, unless he makes that decision. He's still caught up in that life, but I'm not really feeling him. Yeah, I'm getting, yeah. It's like to stay, if he comes in and don't get attached to the situation, because I just looked down and I saw the kind of the devil head, the way it was, just look at the eyes, there's still some work he has to do, but he's starting to, because he wants to come in and that's what his heart wants. So even if he doesn't, at least that, but it's saying to stay independent. But you guys are both calling for healing, and there is, if you just hold on to any kind of tenderness that you have and understand that, like you said, you both weren't ready, and then that way you can, your soul can be released from that. His soul and your soul wants to be released from that experience. So, and this is, look at that cat is just, it's about that, the independence. Like, you just gotta look at, okay, so it's not really caught up in it, because if he were to be like, I'm really feeling like if he were to be like, you know, going towards attraction, I'm not feeling it for him. And just change little bit by little, right? And, you know, that's so I like his yeah, be generous of spirit. He just, you know, stay, you know, you moved on, you moved on, and and that's what I'm feeling. But of course, you got your ancestors, and then you got, and it wants to move. It wants to move. They want to get that moving, that wheel moving, so you can move forward. Okay. And this is the card that came up early. Is be still and go within. Really let your ancestors and your guides. Um, no, I'm really not feeling reconciling. I'm really not. Because there was the card was for you to walk away, for your own good. But I feel like he might, you know, because it says for you to be independent. To be, yeah, he might be, you know, he's attracted to you and he cares about you, but he's just not ready. He's just really not ready. He's just, there's still some stuff, and I really feel like to do with money, you know. I really felt like there was a very strong influence of money, you know, and once he, you know, so what can happen later, of course, you know, but I'm feeling like this. So this idea just to there's like a stasis to this situation and moving on because you did already, but you know there's a tenderness to it, there really is, that you know he didn't like treating you like that, you know, so he really, I really feel like he sees you as like this god, and but there is that tendency, you know, where he sees your soul, but he likes your body too. You know, that is the case. That's what I feel like the case is. But yeah, he wanted to make a different choice. So you did, you did, but he didn't. I don't think he because the way he left. So you just kind of want to stay where you're at. I mean, just, you know, continue doing what you're doing. Stay, you know, independent. But he does feel bad. He didn't like it at all. But something he kind, yeah, I feel like he had to go, and I do think he has like a romantic idea of you, but I don't think he's ready for it. I really feel like, so I don't know. Is it your computer? My computer is. I'm gonna have to check on that and see what's going on because you missed that. So we're at 156. So I think about like 145 if you were to go check later to get those cards. Yeah, yeah. So that um because he didn't like the way he left it. He thought more of you, um because he was caught up. He got really caught up in what was going on. You know, there was money, there was power, there was another woman that was, I think, wasn't to his best interest. So he didn't like the way he left it with you, and so he just doesn't. He's just not ready to go fully. But there is a part of him that does respect you. Yeah. But he did get he got caught up. I'm just like he got really caught. I kept on seeing the devil. Look at that. It's just two devils. He got caught up, you know, and so either he's in this energy. If I think because you moved on, with that, because I remember just looking at the eyes of the devil. He's not connected to his feminine part of him. He's not integrated, so it hurt him to behave that way with you. So you and oh, okay, it's you. Okay, so you didn't fully move on. I mean, you moved on, but so him coming back, right? So to move that, and that's what that ancestor energy is about. It's like bringing this together. There's that they're watching, and look how big this one is compared to these, ready to move that, right? So once this is very Egyptian, right? Um, so once he comes in, you know, I was feeling past life. This was part of it too. It's like I was looking at it, I just felt like there was like something happened in the past life, right? And I feel like it happened again, but this time. So if he comes in, allow him to to um to get to do his part, that wheel moving, but stay independent, because I'm not feeling he's still not fully out of it. So what could happen is that he can move forward, and then maybe some other time he can come back, but he's not ready now. I'm not really feeling that. And I really feel like your ancestors are really saying to be in that independent, and allow your heart to. It didn't feel good, but the fact that he wants to come back and let you know that he respected you. You know what I'm saying? And I just really feel like something like that happened in a past life. So he doesn't want to do it again in this lifetime. And he wants to clear that up, right? So you can move forward and he can move forward too. And maybe he's having dreams about you, I wonder. I see. Yes. So I think it's a past life. I think what could this mean? Because there's gonna be this is like a stepping stone for you, right? Of healing. So because you said you were emotionally unavailable at that point. So what happens when we're emotionally unavailable, something will come in. You know how they use those things for the heart, like in emergencies, their heart stops and they put those electrical things and it jolts them. So that's what that was. Sometimes we'll get because it becomes stagnant, right? Because this kept on coming in. So even though it hurt, it's meant to defrost your heart, right? And he really, really doesn't like the way it happened. That, you know, but you got to be careful with that too, because he's not ready. And sometimes guys will use their regret, because we get, when someone's like, well, you feel bad about it, but are you ready to move out of that? And it doesn't look like he is. So allow those tears to come in, and remember what we were in the lesson is like whatever we put our attention to, right? That's what's gonna grow. So if you put your attention to that independence and the healing of it, it's like, so if you look at it as he came in, you were emotionally unavailable at that point, and then so your heart was like this, so then he gave you that jolt, so it can move things around, so you can have a healing that way. When the person that is meant for you will come in, you're not going to be in a frozen heart state, right? You're going to have some healing. There's a song that's coming to mind. It's a country song, and it's Rascal Flatts, and it's something like um, the broken road. So it's like we go through all these relationships, um, and breaks are getting us ready for the relationship so we can be emotionally available, right? So this is an opportunity for you to be independent. And you got this really beautiful, because there was some kind of emotion that was happening, because the nightingale, that bird is like the love one, like a love bird, and they're two, you know, in this. And then we got this playful. And then this card comes out. I love buffalo, because look how strong that buffalo is. And buffalo in the native culture is a very abundant animal. Everybody ate, and they not only fed, they got fed, they were warm through their, the fur. Buffaloes are very, so that's so cool. This is like so cool. It's really, really short. And look at, this is like this independence. This is another, like, you're going to be stronger because of this. Look how strong she's standing. How assured, there's confidence. So this experience is going to bring you confidence, and this is your ancestors bringing you two together for your healing. Okay, and this yellow is the solar plexus, and that's your willpower. So kind of look into what the solar plexus means for you, and that kind of stuff, and that, which is independence. This is what this is this is what the solar plexus is about, that independence, that confidence. So you're it says it's buffering. Okay, so you're on your way to independence, to be a stronger woman. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna finish this up. We went into desire before you showed up. I think before you showed up, we went into desire, and the idea was about really honoring desire and understanding desire. So, and to really look into your desire. So if you go back to the video, but this is something I'm going to be bringing up a lot, to really understand desire, and so we can start following that desire, right? Because we're working on mastery. We want to master life. Good. I'm glad it did. So you're already independent. Okay, that's good. That yeah. All right. Then it's gonna heal that broken heart. All right, because and sometimes we have to, always we have to balance our masculine with our feminine. And I feel like with that goddess coming up, that's what's going to go through. You're going to go through is that healing of your goddess energy. So okay, so it was really good. It was good reading for you. If you could do the like button, so I get, yeah, I guess that's changes the algorithms or something like that. I think, yeah, that would be cool. So you have a wonderful day, and you have guides. And there's love. Oh, yes, yes. There's this card also is saying you have so many angels and spirit guides and ancestors that are with you. I really felt like uh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Bye bye.